Good morning. How are you guys? Nice to see everybody. Hey, this is number 11. We're just hanging out. We're having a glass of tea together, as one should. Anyway, I hope you guys doing well. Who's here? T's here. 28's here. Let's see. How you guys doing, man? Hope you guys doing well. Good morning to you. Welcome to the podcast. Wow, man. T, I hope you fixed that, my dude. This morning we're doing mint tea. It is part of the Bigelow plantation, the tea plantation. I think that's what they call it. I have no idea. But this is plantation mint. So I assume it's from a plantation. I actually have no idea. But anyway, that's that. We're just getting started. Listen, I didn't even prep anything for this. You know what I mean? I just kind of went on and I said, we're going to do this podcast. And whatever it's going to be, it's probably going to be pretty good. Good morning, Eros. How are you? Sounds good. Yeah, it's actually delicious. So I had the mint tea for the first time like a week ago. And I drank it all week long. It was fantastic. So I went ahead and picked up another box. I couldn't get enough of it. How could you blame a man, you know? How could you? So hopefully everybody's doing well. I've been just kind of reading Reddit a little bit this morning, just kind of see what's going on. A lot of crazy stuff in this world going on. I have to start wearing glasses because my eyes are getting messed up. Well, good. I hope you wear glasses. It's super important. I actually wear glasses as well. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter has been using my glasses, though. She's been using them because she's learning how to sew. She's learning how to sew her first quilt. She bought herself a little, it's like one of those little pocket sewing machines, and she's just been going to town on it. She's already got like the whole top almost done. It looks pretty cool. It really does. I don't know if anybody does quilting or not like that. But anyway, she's doing it for her best friend, and it's turning out pretty cool. I'm really happy about it. I'm happy that she's taking her creativity and putting it into something more functional. I mean, I love painting, I love drawing and everything, but you can't use that. But you can make a really pretty quilt, and you could use that all day long. No big deal. I come from a long line of quilters. I mean, I'm not a quilter, but my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mom's not. Actually, you know, think about it. I don't really know what hobbies my mom actually picked up from her mom. I don't know, except couponing. That's the only thing. Couponing and quilts in my family. I have one of those really weird families, I think. I don't really know. I'm unsure. Oh, so anyway, woke up this morning around 8. I decided to get it. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, so we had Chinese food, which was pretty weird. I went down. We had not eaten out. So let's talk about health for a second, because there is something to be said about actually eating out. So this is what basically went down. So March happened, COVID came, and we said, you know what? We're not going to do anything. We're not going to go out to eat. We're not gonna go shopping. We're gonna stay home as much as we can, and we're doing it. Shower time. What's up? Hand sewing is OP. Oh, you say I haven't quilted yet, but I'd like to. I wouldn't mind trying my sewing quilt. Yeah, I think it would be worth it. I think that would certainly be worth it. Wow. Well, listen, wearing glasses is not a huge deal, dude. Trust me. I kind of like wearing glasses once in a while. Of course, I'm low tier and avoid hand sewing at the moment. Yeah, hand sewing would be pretty rough. So we go out. Yesterday, I took everybody's order for the first time. We haven't had Chinese food out as a family since March. So I take everybody's order. I call it in. I go and pick it up yesterday. We sit down as a family. There's 6 of us around the table, and we have a good time. My youngest son's like, "Oh, my stomach hurts," and he needs to go. And so I'm like, okay, all right, no big deal. I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I don't really feel that good. When you eat, like, I don't really consider Chinese food fast food, but I guess it could be. It's certainly a lot of fried food, so maybe that's what it is. I don't eat a lot of fried food, and I don't know, I just don't feel as good today as I normally do. So for the last 6 months, I've been on a pretty good schedule and a pretty good diet, mostly because of streaming. Here's my schedule for those of you that want to know my day-to-day. So it starts by waking up. I wake up between 8 and 9 a.m. in the morning every single day. Nothing ever changes. I come downstairs. I have a 2-story house. So I come downstairs, I make tea, I turn on the computer, I put all my packages for my small business out in the mailbox. And then I come in and I turn on the stream at 10 a.m. I stream until around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Mrs. comes home, and then we get to hang out for a few hours. And then she'll go to sleep. I'll stay up until about 2 a.m. and I'll repeat it. That's my daily schedule for like the last 6 months. And I think your body gets kind of used to like being in a rhythm, if you know what I mean, right? So like we always, like, between my wife and I, like, we like to cook. We cook a lot of great food. So we don't go out to eat a lot. And I think my body just got used to that kind of cooking. And so when we had Chinese food, I mean, it didn't give me anything like, I wasn't sitting on the toilet or anything. Just like, your stomach hurts and you're like, you don't feel great. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Has anybody else actually dealt with that? I think COVID might actually change my diet. After this, like, after yesterday, I thought to myself, that was my favorite Chinese restaurant right down the road. Like, it's so easy to go to. And then I realized I may have to break up with him. After all of this, I may actually have to break up with him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out for dinner anymore. What if I find out I can actually cook better than going out to dinner? That's crazy. Tyler, good morning. Gremlin, good morning. How is everybody? Hey, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. We're on number 11, by the way. Do you know what that means? We've been doing this podcast for 5.5 weeks. That's what that means. Or at least 4 weeks. My internet be sucking, mate. Oh, dude, what's going on? Are they working on your street or something? Stoned. I like the way that sounds. That's amazing. I've already started my morning off. Last night I cooked cranberry orange muffins. Cranberry orange muffins with a half a cup of Night Nurse. And let me tell you, my edibles, they slam. Like, my edibles should be in dispensaries, but they're not. They're not, because I can't do them on that scale. But I make damn good edibles. I make gummy worms. I make muffins. I make all kinds of stuff. I'm on the way there. I like that. That's a good attitude right there. Yeah, I get nausea all the time from the dumbest crap. Really. Oh, kind of sensitive nose and smell. Ooh, that would be the worst. That would actually be the worst. If you have, I know what you mean. Some people will walk in and be like, I gotta go. I'll be right back. And out they go. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Sounds tasty, of course. Jeff, good morning to you. Yeah, I used to make the gummy worms all the time. I stopped for a little while because it's such an intensive process. Do I have any cooks in the audience here? Because if you've ever like tried to make candy, maybe not cooks, but candy makers. So I tried learning how to make cannabis candy, and frankly, I got really good at it. But the problem is, like, I don't have like a candy cooling table. I don't have like a lot of the big tools that you actually need to do it. But my worms still come out pretty good. I can get my worms between 30 and 40 milligrams of THC each. But like I said, I haven't done it. I think the last time I made worms was like, actually, it was probably about a year ago. And I would make about 80 worms, and then that would last me about a month. So I could do 2 grams of oil, and then that would be broken down into that. You could break it up. Anyway, this was all on the internet and stuff like that. It's how I learned. I didn't know how to make gummy worms. Not until about 2 years ago. I wanted to be a chef for a long time. I'm still doing. My youngest son, he's torn right now. So he goes to a trade school, and he wants to either do computers or culinary. And they haven't told him what he was selected for yet. So last year they got to decide before COVID, and sophomore year is starting in like 2 weeks. I think like 2 weeks from now, and he may be a culinary student. I'm not actually sure, which would be pretty dope because he'll be able to make American dishes, Filipino dishes, maybe some fusion dishes. Ooh, man. And then I'm going to have a chef for life. You know what? I bet you he's got it in his blood already. His mother just cooks and cooks and cooks. It's endless dishes, and I would be cool if you could join her in the kitchen. I think that would be really cool. Like pass on a family tradition almost. Is he also learning another language? That pairs very well being a chef of any kind. So, it's funny. So, when he was born in the Philippines, and he lived there for his first year. It took us about a year and a half or whatever to do all the immigration stuff for them to come to the U.S. And so he basically grew up his first year only listening to Filipino. So he comes over to the U.S. and he lives in, it's me, his mom, and him. And then, so it's mostly English in the house with a little bit of, Filipino. And he gets older and he's around a bunch of Filipinos. Like we were always really deep inside like all of the Filipino communities and stuff like that. And, he was speaking it for a while when he was younger because I had to go to Korea and then they went to the Philippines for the year that I was there. And so he was actually speaking Filipino when he was 4 or 5 years old. He can't now. It's so funny. He can't now. He can only do English, but he can understand it. He can understand Filipino, but he can't speak it. So his mother, oh man, when she starts yelling at him, it's all in Filipino. And he knows. He knows what's up. I love it, man. When she gets on him, like she doesn't even bother with English. She's like, no, I'm going for the soul. Here it goes. Speaking of food, the weird anime I'm watching is about food. What kind of food? What's the name of the anime so everybody knows? I call it food porn, but it's called Food Wars. Oh, hey, that sounds awesome. Sausage party? Hello, what's up, Jock? Nice to see you, my dude. We're just talking about language learning. How many people here know more than one language? Anybody? I'm actually curious. Like, how diverse is my audience? Jock says he do. I know there's a lot of people over in like Europe, so they typically know more than one language. Gremlin, hey, you're Irish. Can you answer a dumb American question for me and about, I don't know, probably 350 million other Americans? Not that they're all going to watch this video, but what's the language for Ireland? It's not Welsh, it's Gaelic. Is that true? Can you teach me for a second real quick? Can I borrow your experience, ma'am? I really wanted to learn French and Japanese, but I never got the chance in the past. I took French in 6th grade and got a 0. I decided I took it because I wanted to try the crepes, and I didn't want to learn the language at all. And then I learned some Spanish as an adult, and then I learned a lot of Filipino as an adult, but I'm not fluent in any of those. I can Swedish, English, Swedish Sign Language, and learning Spanish in school. Jesus, Jock. How much does a translator make? Maybe we start with that. Translator pay. I just want to find out. Let's see. Let's look at this real quick. How much does a translator pay per hour? I assume this is in the US. I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to be in the US, but it just is what it is. So national average is $29 an hour. So around me, it's 28. That's crazy. I know where that is. That's a garbage place too. Interesting. All the way up to $100 an hour. Come on. Who's paying $7.69 for translators? Is this for real? This can't be for real. Anyway, that's a little interesting. So if you guys, it is Gaelic? Okay. So you speak English and Gaelic? Man, I got to do better with my my European knowledge. I got to step it up. I'm not an ugly American, okay? Let's start there. I am not an ugly American. I don't go over to other countries and act a fool. I love culture. So but I am a naive American to a lot of places. They make good pay. Yeah, they do, at least in the U.S. That's crazy. So one thing in the Air Force, they used to give people, oh man, I'll have to find that. So in the Air Force, there's this program. If you can speak another language, they will pay you up to like $1,000 extra a month. Um, what is it called? D-Lab, I think. No. Language. So language pay. Let me see if I can pull this up. You guys. Oh, so if you score really high, you could end up making a ton of money. Look at this. Okay, so this is how they do it in the military. They could pay, at least in the U.S. Oh, Jesus. Language over the years? Nice. Very nice. I have never heard anybody speak Gaelic before, I'll be honest. So this is the U.S. military, DFAS. So Defense Finance and Accounting Service. Let's bring this up a little bit so everybody can actually see it. Okay, check this out. So you got to take a test called Defense Language. It's called D-Lab Battery something. Anyway, you can score different things. A 1-1 is like the lowest percent of like efficiency. So it's somebody that has a pretty good grasp in reading, writing, and speaking, hearing, whatever. It means hello. Oh, nice. That's actually nice. Yeah, I don't know any of that. That's crazy. And look, so just for casually knowing another language, and of course there's stipulations to all of this, but monthly pay can go, in this case, it looks like only up to 500. So I wonder if they've changed it recently. You know, there's been a lot, there's always changes. Every year they reevaluate pay and stuff like that. So depending on the language that you know, a fully proficient, so $500 extra a month. I had this lady that worked in my building, and she was Chinese. She was Chinese American, but she spoke fluent Chinese. And let me tell you, while all the sergeants and all the captains and stuff were driving like shitty beat down cars, this chick was rolling around in a BMW. I loved it. I loved her attitude. She was making bank because she knew it. Because so on top of this right here, if you know another language, there's a benefit. Basically, let's say General Smith calls you up and he's like, hey, I have to go to Spain for this NATO meeting. They're like, he's going to say, I need a Spanish translator to travel with me. So they pull somebody with this qualification, and then they travel with the general. They get everything paid. They get hooked up just for telling him that they're not talking shit about him. That's basically what it is. So that's how it works in the military. If you know another language in the military, it is so amazing. They will hook you up, especially if you know a rare language. So Spanish is not really, I think Spanish is pretty low on the totem pole because it also matters on what language. Let me see, is there a list? I don't want to read all that. That sounds awful. But so like, let's say you know Thai. You're pretty much always going to go to Thailand with the general. Yeah, no, Swedish, all of them. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's different, like, importance. And so I think what that's based on is, obviously, a lot of people here in the U.S. speak Spanish. So a Spanish-English speaker is a dime a dozen. But the amount of people that can speak Thai and English is a little bit smaller. Therefore, it's not as big of a bucket. And those people don't necessarily join the military, so the bucket gets even smaller. Like, the amount of people that can speak Spanish and English in the military is pretty solid. Like, I could throw a rock and hit somebody that can speak both of those languages at the same time when I'm on a base. But, you know, Thai, what are some rare ones? Russian is probably, pretty slim. I actually worked with a guy. He spoke fluent Russian. We were in South Korea, and he would just chase Russian girls all the time because he was the only one that could speak it. And then so we had this other guy, and he was an American. He was a younger dude, and he was just so attracted to these Russian girls. I don't know what it was, the accent or something. And the guy that could speak Russian fluently, we called him Rudy. That wasn't his name, but we called him Rudy because he was such a tryhard. Has anybody ever seen that movie where the kid goes to Notre Dame to be on the football team, but he sucks at football, but he's got such heart? And the movie's called Rudy. So we used to call him Rudy because he couldn't get any girls. He was pretty icky, to be honest. But so this younger guy would always take him out so he could have him translate for him to see if she was talking shit in Russian behind this guy's back. Oh my God, dude. It was amazing. It was amazing. You never know when translators can come in handy. So listen, if you can speak more than one language, please keep that up. I think that is pretty good. Can I be paid for translating English slang into regular English? In some cases, you wish you could, but no. Unfortunately, they're not paying for that right now. English slang is... I've heard some of the... so I'm getting my thoughts together. Hold on here. I've been watching more Twitch lately, which also means I've been watching more international people. This is something that Twitch has done for me. And maybe you can kind of, I don't know, either attest or tell me I'm dead wrong. But when I watch YouTube, I watch mainly American channels. When I shop online, I use Amazon.com, Walmart. I use American things. Very seldom am I opened up to like an outside point of view. So for instance, if I'm watching the Travel Channel, maybe they'll stick the token Asian person on there to tell me all about, Cambodia or something like that. Or, they'll be doing Southern cuisine and they'll feature or not Southern cuisine, like Caribbean, like that South. And they'll bring somebody from, Jamaica or Dominican Republic or Republic or whatever. And, but Twitch has opened me up to, I'm watching people playing games in the Netherlands, Denmark. Who else? I'm watching people in South Korea. I'm watching people from all over the world. I have an unfiltered window into another part of the world at any time I want. Have you guys just found yourself watching having so much more exposure to the world? Do you guys think it changes you at all? Man, I think it changes me quite a bit because when I see somebody like from a different country and just 2 days watching, hold on, I had to stop for that. I saw 2 days. So for anybody that doesn't know, 2 days equals 48 hours. Holy cow, Gremlin. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Yo, Raxlin. Hey, man, sorry my brother was streaming, so I had to stop by. No worries, dude. How you doing? Hope you're doing fine. I think Twitch is really amazing like that for sure. On TV, it's mostly just Americans. But yeah, it is a nice variety. And I feel like American TV is pretty ubiquitous around the world. I mean, every country has their own channels, their own shows. But no matter where I travel to, it always seems like a lot of other countries really enjoy American movies and TV. And I don't know, it's kind of weird to be that. Because living here, I feel like I question how respectable we are to look up to. I mean, especially in today's times, right? We're in some pretty trying times. But yeah, I absolutely find myself connecting more. Like last night, I watched somebody play marbles for 2 hours. And, I couldn't help myself. I just did it. So yeah, that's the way it goes. Twitch has been super helpful for me to just meet all these new people that I would never ever meet. Because listen, if I'm never going to meet somebody on the other end of the TV, why does it need to be somebody super famous? I'd rather just get to know a normal everyday guy that I know I'll never meet. But I have a little bit higher chance of meeting him or her in person if I did some traveling or they did some traveling versus I'm never going to meet Rob Lowe or I don't know who's some other famous, like Leonardo DiCaprio. So why should I give a shit? Other than he does a great performance. I love watching his movies. I have no issues with that. But like just to watch shows and stuff, I think shows are like a thing of the past at this point. You know what I find most interesting? Long form podcast. That's why I do this. I do this just because I like the long form. Leonardo DiCapri's son, dude, those are good juice boxes. I will not shit all over Capri's son. Those are fantastic juice boxes. And actually, believe it or not, some of the only ones I'll use in my gummy worms when I'm making edibles. Yeah, that's a true story, actually. Leonardo DiCaprio. Has anybody seen his documentary on global warming? I think they put it behind a paywall after so many days, but it was really well done. I mean, I'm not here to preach global warming. I don't know if I need to or not, but it came out when I was living in the Philippines. So it was 2017, and they ran it on YouTube for like 5 days for free. I don't know how many views it got or anything like that, but it was really well done. I also like Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not going to lie. I saw a small amount of it on Facebook a while back. Never got around to watching the whole thing. It's worth it. If you see it, it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth like going out of your way to see it. Probably not. But if somebody like, hey, I'm about to play this kind of thing, I'd probably sit down and be like, yeah, okay, I could give you another 90 minutes. It was just well shot. I felt like the narration was pretty solid. I actually think Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of becoming an even better person the older he gets. Not that he was a bad person before. I just mean like the older he gets, he just seems, so in his movie roles, he seems even more ridiculous the older he gets. But in real life, like I just feel like he's a really good person. Good morning. Hi, Gary. Welcome. I can fully agree. Yeah, I actually like him. I support him as an actor. I don't feel that way about all actors, but I definitely feel that way about him. You know, there's better ones than others, obviously. It's amazing what's out there for us to consume. Life is becoming more difficult in 2020 just for figuring out what you want to watch. You got Hulu, you got Disney Plus, you got Netflix, you got the internet, YouTube, Twitch, and like a host of so many websites that can take you away. Here, last quarter, I think I read the other day, 500,000 subscribers canceled cable last quarter. 500,000. There's only something like 50 million subscribers, cable subscribers in the US. Actually, let's look it up. How many cable subscribers are there in the US? How about that? Okay. Wow, I was actually really on it. So it says about 53 million. So, well, hold on. According to reports by the FCC, peaked around the year 2000 at 68.5 million. So they have been losing subscribers steadily. Absolutely, quarter after quarter. Like I've said it before on here. Yo, Jackie, what's up? Good morning. I've said it on here. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. In 2008, I went ahead and I cut the cable there. And I did away with cable. I only had internet from that point on. And let me tell you, best decision I ever made. Hands down, would do it again, 10 out of 10. I only have high-speed internet. I pay a ridiculous amount for high-speed internet because they feel like they can charge you more for only providing you internet. Since you don't, so here in the U.S., it's if you don't buy our cable packages, we're going to charge you extra for the internet. So I always tell them, charge away, my friends. That's all I want. So I pay a little bit extra. I pay $125 a month for high-speed internet. That is ridiculous. I feel like they're definitely taking full advantage. So I told my representative a couple weeks ago when he stopped by, I told him, I said, Matt, I said, I need municipal broadband. How do we do that? Can we get municipal broadband? I want to see if like, so my town is full of like IT professionals and stuff like that. And I'm wondering if somehow we can get together and like create a municipal broadband, like, here's our plan kind of thing. I mean, the hardest part would be running like physical cables and stuff like that. But like, I can do installs. I can do like data center installs and stuff like that. I've done them before. I've done several where I've done like small scale like data centers, co-located situations and stuff like that. And my town is only 10,000 people, and it's not that hard. A 10,000 person network is nothing compared to something like New York City or something. And I think we could do it. I think we could get everybody gigabit fiber and just include it in their property tax so it's free. If you live in this town, your gigabit internet is free. So I want to try to figure out how we can pitch that to the town and just give everybody municipal broadband. Wow, that's crazy. Does anybody live where they have municipal broadband? Just curious. Several places here in the U.S. have done it in the last 10 years. And all it's been is a major success, for sure. I'm so jealous. Sometimes I want to live in those places. Like when I go to a new place. So when we moved here from the Philippines, I landed and we started house hunting. And the first thing I said to the realtor was, I will not buy a house that cannot get good internet. Like if you're talking anything lower than 100 megabits per second, I will not purchase that property based on that. That's the kind of homeowner I am. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I've shown you guys like I got a new switch in the other day. Did I show you guys? I showed you guys that. I got a new I got to install it still. I got a new 48 port with power over Ethernet Cisco switch. It's amazing. I can't wait to install it in the server room. I've been meaning to do it, but I gotta factory reset it and all that. I bought it used off of eBay. So I don't know. I feel like we could wire up our towns a little bit better because internet is definitely a human right. And if I'm sure you guys feel that by now, right? I mean, we just had we're in the middle of a huge pandemic. Everybody's working from home. Everybody needs internet in order to make money and connect to work and, pay bills and do your banking. Like it's all basically intertwined. We can never go back to the way it was. Like we can miss how it was. We can reminisce about, back in the 80s before, internet banking was a thing, but you can't undo this. The cat is completely out of the bag. And after this pandemic, I think it's going to be really hard to convince workers that they need to go to the office to work, especially with everybody working from home, making the same amount of money, getting the same job done. That's crazy. Do you guys think, is anybody in that situation? I'm curious. Have you been allowed to work from home and then soon you got to go back to work? Like, you're probably thinking wait, my job could have been remote this whole time. You're spending gas to go there. All your travel time, you got to get oil changes because you're driving all the time. I want to work from home. I don't know. Just a thought. I think the world's going to change significantly after this COVID stuff is done. I don't think you can ever undo it. And I think there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. And I'll tell you one negative I think that we'll see here in the U.S. It's here forever. Oh, for sure. This thing is not going anywhere. Nowhere. It's scary because, oh, hey, we made some money. I like that. We're stuck with it forever. And then I don't know how it became politicized, but there's just I think relationships are going to be forever harmed. I'll be honest, right? I'll be honest. Those that I have trusted with, to provide me correct information, those that I respected and I looked up to, those are the ones that are denying that this is a big deal. The ones that can't wear a mask. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to have a relationship with those people again because they failed me so hard now when I really needed them. Why would I want them in my life, assuming I survived this and they survived this? Why would I want to continue that relationship with somebody that failed me when I need them at the very most? Something simple like can't wear a mask. I don't know how that goes back. You know what I'm saying? I'm working next week. Oof, stay safe. Please stay safe. I'm not even working at the moment. Pretty harsh time. Yeah, it's really bad. We're in the middle of a recession here in the U.S. If not a depression. Like it's pretty serious here. I don't know. I don't know when this gets better. I've actually slowed my business down. Business has been absolutely terrible. So I've been in business for 14 months now. This is how bad. My first year on eBay, I made $20,000. I'm projected to make $50,000 in my second year until this week happened. And it could be a little bit of a blip, but something tells me it's not. All the government help kind of ran out. People have no jobs here. A lot of bad things are happening. 1 million people are being evicted out of their homes right now. And business has been bad. I've sold 20% of what I normally would sell in the last 7 days. I hope it's just a little blip. People are busy. People are going back to school. People are going back to work, whatever the case is, and that it'll bounce back. But something tells me we're going to be playing this game for at least a year. So at least here in the U.S. where I am, it's been really harsh. So many businesses are closed right now. I don't think the service industry ever goes back to the way it was. I think there's a very small minority of Americans that don't want to wear a mask, that want to go eat at a restaurant, that want to go to Disney World, that want to be in enclosed spaces like movie theaters. And honestly, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. Every one of them that dies is one less vote for Republicans, for one. For the most part, I'm not saying only Republicans are dying. I'm just saying it's surging in Republican states right now, and they still aren't doing anything. I don't know. I don't think America's ever going to be good again. I mean, I'm not good. Ever going to be the same? Not. Certainly in my lifetime. I mean, I guess at one point it will be. I think it'll take us 5 to 10 years to figure out how we come back together at the table. I don't know. I have school. Man, please be safe. All my children are remote only. I don't want anybody unnecessarily going out. I mean, everybody still goes out, so to a certain degree, but we really try to limit it. We're pretty fortunate here in New Hampshire. We've only had 6,700 positive cases. And a lot of that probably came from Massachusetts, since I live really close to Massachusetts and Boston in particular. And so we have a lot of commuting in the Seacoast area. And unfortunately, that brings a lot of cases here to New Hampshire. But we've been pretty lucky. We've only had about 500 deaths, in comparison to a state like Florida, where they have had 570,000 positive reported cases. It's probably closer to 1 million if I had to guess. And they, they're really, I don't know, their governor's sending kids back to school. Their governor's opening up everything. It's rough. And whatever's happening there is rough. I'm not sure how you live in Florida, and if you do vote Republican, how do you vote for that one? I mean, so many dead. So many dead. I also have a Republican governor here in my state, and I would actually say he's done a decent job. As far as COVID goes, he's done okay. You can look at the U.S. numbers. You'll see New Hampshire is one of the very lowest. Hey, what's up, Tyler J? Nice to see you, my dude. Hey, welcome to the podcast. Hey, for those that don't know, this is a great time for me to remind you guys. So I like to do this live in front of a live audience, as they say for the sitcom world. I like to do this live on Twitch. This is my podcast. This is Tea with Unjacked. And I take a recording of this, I edit it, and then I put it on YouTube where it lives forever. See, on Twitch, my videos can only last for 2 weeks, and then they're deleted. So every single stream that I've done for like the last 2 years is pretty much gone. So I'm trying to save some of the clips and some of the content like this that I do want to live on YouTube forever. So that's where you're going to find this. And you'll find the previous 10 podcasts. We have almost 20 hours of content. This one right here, when it gets uploaded, we should have about 20 hours worth of content up on YouTube for everybody to digest. All my opinions, whether you hate them, whether you love them, whatever it is. Hoy, what's up, my dude? Welcome to the podcast here. And then so typically after we do this, so this is Tuesdays and this is Thursdays. From 10 to 12 is the podcast. It happens every week as much as possible. We do have to miss number 12 here on Thursday. So we'll do number 12 next Tuesday. And then after I bring the stream down, I take a 5-minute, maybe a 10-minute stretch, get some water, kind of adjust myself, maybe powder my nose. It's a big nose, so it takes a few minutes. And then I go and I bring the stream back up, and we either play BTD 6, Fall Guys, or Marbles on stream. And then that's what we do. We rock it. So every day you get a 5-hour stream right here on Twitch. 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, we go. Anyway, just wanted to mention that for anybody that maybe is watching on YouTube and is like, wow, where do I find this guy? The largest voter demographic are boomers and olders. Who they are primarily Republican. They are also most vulnerable to COVID. Shooting themselves in the foot. Absolutely, yes. Sadly. I thought I saw a news article about 2 weeks ago, Eros. I'm sure that you just searched that and that's probably correct. But I think we're right at the cusp of Gen Z, whatever the stupid gens are. The young people are actually the largest or just about to overtake the boomers. I swear I read that. I mean, I don't have it at my fingertips, but yeah, I believe that. Yeah, so, I would think that more people would be keen to their own interests, but it turns out Fox News is a really bad propaganda network that has certainly convinced people like my mother and a lot of people that I know that the world is flat, that, Pizzagate was real, that a lot of things were real. What was it? The Green Bowl massacre or whatever? Like that was fake. Like, I don't know. There's too many crazy people. There's too many crazy people, man. Hey, man. So I don't know how we go, but listen, I will say that I know what our problem is. As a country, I know exactly what our problem is. Education. I feel like an educated country or world or whatever scope you want to put it as, an educated populace is one that understands things like science, math, engineering, like real things that are tangible that you can prove over and over again. Educated people tend to be less religious. I'm not saying that religious people are dumb. I'm just saying that by study, that they find most atheists to be, or agnostic people to be educated. They don't find a lot of dum-dums that are atheists. I guess I don't know what my point is. I'm not trying to call anybody dumb. That's my point. I'm just saying from what I've read, all right? Check Pew Research Center. Hey, let me see. I don't really know much about the Pew Research Center. Who's behind that? Here I go. I'm going to start a conspiracy theory right now. Who's behind it? It's the Jews, isn't it? No, it's it's the Italians. What? Oh man, there's if you, how do you even start this? If you post something on Facebook on my channel, I swear to God, those are the responses. The ones I just said. Those are the responses that I would get on that kind of stuff. If I posted something like, "Oh yeah, according to Pew Research," it'd be like, "Oh really? Really? Do you know? Do you know who's behind that? I'll tell you who's behind that." And it's always like George Soros or the Jews or something ridiculous. Choco milk from brown cows, dude. I convinced a lot of kids when I was younger that brown cows only give out chocolate milk. So Pew Research. Okay. How do you know? Okay, here's a Wikipedia. Wikipedia is dangerous, but you got to be able to kind of read between things. Is a nonpartisan American think tank. Okay, funding, tax exempt, Pew charitable. Let's see. Hold on. Let's bring this up. I'm sorry. I'm over here just having a good time. All right. So Pew Research Center, 1990. The Times Mirror Company founded this. Okay. The Pew Charitable Trust in 1996. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Oh man, that's a dangerous question to ask too. So it says that they are nonpartisan, so that simply means that they do not take any sides. American think tank, so a bunch of people to get together and just kind of hash things out a little bit. I'm trying to bring this up so you guys can actually read this. Revenue, $44 million. That actually doesn't seem like a lot of money. I'll be honest. For a place trying to do big research, I feel like that's not a lot of money. And it looks like expenses, $35 million. So they don't keep a lot of money on hand either. Huh. All right, let's kind of walk out of that one for a second. Let's actually see what they have. Election 2020, voters are highly engaged, but nearly half expect to have difficulties voting. That's true. That's true. Sadly, I think I'm gonna do it in person. I don't want to, but I definitely am starting to feel a little bit less confident that my votes will be counted. And I want to make sure that my vote for Biden is absolutely counted 100%. And don't get me wrong, I wish I was voting for Bernie. I really wish I was. About 1 in 4 U.S. Hispanics have heard of Latinx. That's weird. That one's a weird one. I've been reading about that. Anyway, I guess this is a decent place. I don't know. I'm not here to debate anything that's on this screen. I just have never actually gone to this website. Do people really go to this website? A lot? I wonder. I don't know. You can take a moment and check it out all you want, I guess. pewresearch.org. That'll get you there. It looks like they cover politics and all kinds of things. What's in the global? Hold on. I'm just curious. Americans fault China for its role in the spread of COVID-19. Oof. As Uncle Roger says, hi. I just don't know how you fault them. I mean, how would they possibly know? I just don't know how you could have stopped this and then fault. Like, China took precautions. There's a video of China putting up a hospital, a huge hospital, in 7 days. I would say they already have a vaccine. They just announced like 2 days ago, I think it was, that China is basically done with their trials on the first vaccine. Like, I don't know. I don't know how Americans can look outward and blame anybody. Like, we have done nothing. Okay. Jesus. I wish that was not the top one. I wish it wasn't. In my municipality, there has been 345 COVID cases. Jesus, dude, stay safe, please. Stay home. Mr. Caliber, that's probably why I had a bad taste in my mouth hanging in here, checking the podcast for the first time, voting for Biden. Just not my taste. Hey, Mr. Caliber, listen, I don't want to vote for Biden. But when you, that's probably why I had a bad day. I like that. At the end of the day, I got screwed twice, or Bernie did. I can't like do it, but I can't vote for Trump. So what are you left with? At the end of the day, it just is what it is, as Trump would say. We got to move on, and right now it's just not feeling good. If my opinion hurts you, man, I'm sorry, but I definitely have my reasons. I would say that 3% of Latinos only use Latinx because it's a term only really used for trans. Yeah, I mean, I would assume that percentage would be so low. It still isn't a thing. Yeah, I mean, until it gets bigger, most people aren't going to be familiar with it. That's absolutely true. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Listen, my ideal candidate would be, a solid Second Amendment, taking care of veterans, taking care of people, strengthening Social Security, adopting universal health care, probably adopting some form of UBI. There's a lot of goodness that can be sought. I don't know if I'm ever going to see my ideal candidate at the end of the day. I just don't know if I'm going to see it before I die. You're basically voting for the vice president because he's, actually, that is what I'm doing, Mr. Caliber. You're absolutely correct. I am voting for Kamala. Yeah. At the end of the day, to expect Trump, Bernie, or Biden, the oldest presidential candidates we've ever had in the U.S., regardless of party, as our possible choices, to me is outstanding. I was pissed when Bernie dropped and Biden when he got the nomination, because I served 8 years in the Air Force I served for 20 years, but 8 of those years were underneath an Obama-Biden administration. And I wasn't thrilled about that either. But at the end of the day, I was presented with what I had, and I worked with it. But my first choice is not Biden. It's absolutely not. But I'll take Harris over what we have right now, because what we have right now is just a hot mess. But I mean, feel free to add your input, dude. I don't mind. I mean, well, you don't have to tell me who you're voting for, but like, what would you like to see? That's what they said about Trump. Wait. Oh, yeah. I mean, they said the same thing about Trump. They said if you're over 70, that's the first thing they say. Hillary was coughing. Oh, she's going to die. It's one of those things. We need presidents that are around 50. Like, if I could vote for, I don't want old presidents. I never want old presidents. It's not good. We are picking out of a fruit basket where all the fruits are bruised. Yeah. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's probably not as nightmarish as 2016, because I still feel like Hillary Clinton is the worst candidate if you put her versus Biden. But it's still a shit sandwich at the end of the day. Listen, I'm a very progressive individual. I don't hide any of my feelings or opinions. If you don't like me, you'll find another streamer that does. That's what I assume. But I hope that you'll have a dialogue with me. I can be reasoned with. I have a very open mind. But at the end of the day, my vote is more important on the down ticket, right? Turning things blue. And I hope that in 2024, I will have somebody that I could really get behind and vote for. Unfortunately, we're not going to be delivered that. And I know a lot of people on my Facebook will say, yeah, but you could vote for Joe Jorgensen. Yeah, I could if I want Donald Trump to win. That's exactly what I could do. But we're not there yet. As a country, we are not there yet. At least they ain't poison, though. Poison apples are worse. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's unfortunate. I don't know. Like, so I'm not over here shilling for Biden. That's not what I'm here for. Like, I just listen, man. At the end of the day, I would like my VA benefits to be reinstated. I would like my veteran affairs healthcare to be good again. I would like a lot of things to be normalized again. I'd like my business to not have to pay tariffs. I would like my family to be medically covered in case anything like COVID happens. There's like so much, man. And I'm not saying like pro or against anybody else, but those are the things that I want. I want marijuana legalization. Number one, when my House of Reps came over here 2 weeks ago to drop off a yard sign, I told them, I said, listen, sir, I said, I want you to know that my number one priority is marijuana legalization. I want money out of politics. Dude, I'm a progressive. It is what it is. It's so difficult. It is so difficult. But I can still have a conversation with somebody that is reasonable. Like, I feel like I want what every American wants. I don't want to take people's guns, but I would like to, have them responsible for them. Like, I was in the military. I'm highly trained with weapons. Like, I can field strip an M16 in about 3 minutes. But the average American can't. So I kind of wouldn't mind if they actually, if you're going to own a certain type of gun, you should be licensed for it. You should, no different than driving. I'm not ridiculous in my thoughts. I'm very reasonable. You vote blue, then we put his feet over the fire. Yes. Yeah, 100%. I will march against Biden. If I had to, I certainly would. Like, I am not a political party guy. Like, I don't go in there and be like, vote Democrat, make sure that you're a Democrat. Like, no, vote for the candidate that best reflects your values. Unfortunately, we're a two-party system and it sucks. I agree with most things you are saying, and you are not ridiculous at all. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm sure that we're going to find something that we could probably negotiate or disagree on, and I think that goes across the board for most people. I come from a very different background. Like I said, I did 20 years in the military. I lived 10 years in Asia. I lived a year in Saudi Arabia. I'm considered a combat veteran. I was, out there supporting all the operations as a fuels troop and a communication troop. I'm married to somebody from the Philippines, and I've lived there in the Philippines for a year. So I have a lot of I hold a bachelor's. I hold 3 associate degrees. I did start in my master's, but it was just too expensive and it wasn't worth it, so I didn't do it. But I've owned 6 businesses. I'm on my 7th right now. So I feel like I have a little bit of experience to bring to the table on most subjects. Thank you for service, dude. No need to say it, but thank you. It was really my pleasure. I had so much fun being in. Not always. There's always down points as well. But yeah, overall, it was a really good experience. In Sweden, you are not even allowed to have guns if you don't have a license, and you're only allowed hunting. Yeah, it's just look, it's sad when I read about, a kid, 2 towns over, a year ago, there was a kid, a 10-year-old kid, took his dad's gun and shot his dad and his mom. What do you do with that? I don't even know what you do with that. 2 weeks ago, on the other side of New Hampshire, a 2-year-old was playing cops and robbers, found a gun, shot his five-month-old brother. Look, you can roll out probably a million stories, and that's the problem. The fact that you can roll out a million stories. So, I still like guns. I really like shooting. I want the privilege to own anything that I want to own. But I don't know how many stories I can hear before I'm like, hey, we should probably have a conversation. Right? I don't know, man. I don't know how to fix it. But I would love to be involved in some kind of solution, because doing nothing is, we're losing people in our communities. These are people I want to spend the rest of my life with. I want to live next door to these people, until the day I die. And if I wake up one day and find out, a niece, a nephew, or somebody that was staying with them found a gun and shot him, I'd be pretty sad. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want a more stable environment to live in. And I feel like certain guns definitely can cause problems. But again, I've shot them all. I've shot a saw. I've shot a 50 cal. I've shot shotguns, rifles, all kinds of stuff, handguns. Like, I'm definitely pro gun. Anyway, just shooting off the hip. Holy cow, we've been going for about an hour now. This is sweet. How's everybody doing? Let's do it. Let's do it like a midstream, mid podcast, like feel good moment. Is everybody good? Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? You guys can always feel free to throw it in the chat. We'll take this anywhere you guys want, because this is tea with me, and this is a conversation between me and you, and anything that's on my mind. This is the best part of it. I love doing this. But yeah, I have disagreements with all kinds of people. Like, I'm a lefty, but I'm not like a crazy lefty. What tea you got today? Today is Plantation Mint. Same tea I was rocking last week. I loved it so much, I actually bought a second box. And I just opened it this morning, so that means I got 19 more glasses of plantation tea left. I'm super excited. I didn't realize how good a little bit of mint it just takes the tea to another level. It's absolutely nuts. I'm good listening to albums from the 90s. We listen to a lot of that. During the weekends, we will turn the TV on. We'll usually do like an 80s playlist or a 90s playlist. And man, the 90s were crazy. The 90s were like crazy music. You had everything from the extremes of Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, all the way over to Britney Spears and all that. I was more of like a grunge and alternative rock. Like, I could get down to some STP. I could get down into like, another underrated band, like Velvet Revolver. And also, I really like Tommy Lee's first album. He has that song Blue on it. That was pretty cool. That came out in 2002. It was dope. I like all kinds of music. I can't help it. Everything except country music. There's zero country music allowed in this house, if I can help it. Like, if I can cut anything that exudes country music out of it, like, I'll just cut it. That way it can't happen again. No country music allowed. I just can't. I don't know why. I grew up with it. My mom used to play it nonstop, and I was like, wow, this makes me want to cut myself. And I just never could get into it. I guess bluegrass might be the other one. Like, I could probably get into a little bit of banjo. Not too much. Nobody plays the banjo anymore, do they? I feel like they don't. That's probably a really naive. How many? Let's see. Is there any way to know how many banjo players there are in the world? Hold on. How many? Because you can't. You gotta self-identify, right? Banjo players are in the world. There's no way this exists. Please tell me. List of banjo players. No. Okay. There's no data on that. I was trying to go data mining. No country. I really agree with you there. Yeah. See, we found common ground. Yeah. Listen, I grew up on rap. Believe it or not, I was like, I grew up with like NWA, Eazy-E, MC Ren, Yella. I grew up with like Spice One, Ant Banks, Too Short, Goldie. I don't just all of those dudes. Like that, I like that kind of music. I like good like electronic music too. Something that I can totally vibe with. If you watch my normal streams, I always play music that you can just kind of vibe to. My mom's husband plays the banjo. Wow. And she loves him. I'm just kidding. It's a very unique talent to play the banjo. Did everyone you mentioned die, and what happens to kids? Yes, everyone died. From the stories that I told a few minutes ago, yes. There were no survivors. None. And that's that's really sad. It's sad for a community. Because, when you lose somebody in a community, I do feel like there's a little hole in it. Like they found somebody down the road from me was dead. Like last summer, found him dead in the home. And every time I walk by the house, I'm like, damn, we lost probably a pretty good person right there. Do you like Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yes, actually, I do. The cartoon. Didn't they do like I thought they did like a real movie on that. Did they? I don't know if I saw it or not, but I like the cartoon. Yeah, he plays a lot of instruments. Oh, okay. I love listening to people that are really good at drums. I am all in for that. That must be murdering your own parents. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what that's like. Thankfully, I couldn't even I can't even put myself in somebody's shoes that can make those kind of decisions. Whether they're your parents or even murdering somebody else. I don't know what that would be like, and I'm so glad that I've never been put in that position, because I don't. My wife always yells at me because when I'm driving down the road, and so we were on Sunday, we went down to the store real quick to get some groceries, and there was a squirrel that ran out, and I started slowing down really fast, and she's like, "No, keep going, you're gonna get into an accident." I said, "I can't have that on my conscience for the rest of the day." Because last summer, I killed a little chipmunk. I didn't see, I couldn't do anything. He was he was waiting for me to drive to the point where he could just run out and get underneath my tire. And then his friend made it across the road. This was the worst part. Then I came back 20 minutes later because I had gone to see my uncle. And the same chipmunk that made it across the road, I killed him too. Oh, I've tried blocking that out of my head. Oh, God. Can we get an F in the chat for those chipmunks? I still feel so bad. Oh, I got just one for the chat. Jesus. I can't believe I had to tell that story again. I had sworn that I never would. All right. That's a moment for those chipmunks. See? They haven't been forgotten. But anyway, I did not want a squirrel underneath my belt. So I had to slow it down. I don't know why. Hunting is different. But just accidentally taking out a life that you don't intend, right? That's just one of those things. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the Fs. Oh man. Hold on. Did I miss something? Let's see. Jackson, because I've found a good rap about it. Wait. Oh, I have no idea, man. I don't think I would enjoy that rap about Avatar the Airbender. But it sucks. Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that movie. I don't really watch a lot of TV or movies. Only once in a while, if one of my daughters come down and they're like, "Hey, do you want to watch this on Netflix?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll spend time with you and watch something." And so that's typically the only time I watch something. If it's not on YouTube or if it's not on Twitch, I don't watch it. Lame. But yeah, it's I love Avenger movies. I love Marvel movies. I think my favorite, the one I'm waiting for, is Doctor Strange 2. Right now, there's no way I'm going to the movie theater to see it. Not until after we have vaccinations. Hold on. Doctor Strange. Okay, let's see this together. Let's look. So Doctor Strange is going to 2022. I think the reason why I love Doctor Strange more than any other movie is just because of the whole idea of the multiverse and his level of power. I just feel time travel, being able to just go across the timeline, travel to different dimensions, see the future, come back, adjust. The power that he wields is like none other. I guess there's stronger characters, but Doctor Strange fascinates me. I don't know why. And besides, Cumberbatch, he does a good job. I actually like him. Benedict Cumberbatch. Is that his name? I think that's his name. I once killed a baby bird when I was younger, and it really has impacted me to this day. Really? Really? Are you like me? Like you just it just makes you feel bad, or the opposite? I'll kill them all. Give me a baby bird. I'm taking them out. Just cracking necks all the way down. Oh, that would be awful. Sorry, it's a dark joke. I'm waiting for Thor. Thor's really good too. Ragnarok was amazing. I think they did such a great job with Ragnarok. Yeah, I'd watch that again. I like Thor. Just I think Chris Hemsworth is he's amazing too. There's so many good actors in the Marvel universe. That's the thing is like there's no like B line. Like everybody is just pushing out greatness. I think that's what I can appreciate the most. All of them. Scarlet Witch is pretty dope too. There's so many. There's just so many good ones. Oh yeah, there's his name right there. Benedict Cumberbatch. Did I say it right? I think I said it right. How about we play a game? Hey Jock, we sure will. Right after I'm done with my podcast. Let me see. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anyway, I want to see Doctor Strange 2. I think Doctor Strange 2 is going to be a big one. So I'm really excited for that to come out. I hope that we'll be able to watch the trailer one of these days together. Wait. These look like trailers. No, those are not. They're not real trailers. Okay. Trying to clown on me, that's all. Bernadette Stuffer Snatch, Jesus. That's that dude has more names to his name than anybody else I know. I watched one comedian. He must have like came off of the bat with like 10 different versions of his name. I was like, Jesus, dude, you thought about this one. You thought about this one really hard. Oh, need a little tea right there. But the only problem is, how are you going to see this? How are you going to see this movie? You know, I the if they don't figure out how to put the movie theater into the house and go direct, I think they're going to have a lot of problems with the business model of movie theaters going forward. I just don't think there'll be a segment of people that will continue to go to movie theaters, and that segment, until there's a vaccine, will probably more than likely get COVID. So they got to figure out how we watch this from home on release night, because I'm not going to the movie theater. You are not going to pack me into an arena, into a movie theater. I'm not going to go to the American Legion for a meeting. I'm not going anywhere. Like, if you're telling me, like, hey, let's go hang out with like 400 other people, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I'll be doing it on voting day, but that's about it. Like, otherwise, I keep to a distance. So I don't know. I don't know how we do this going forward. When do you guys think? What's your estimate when we get a vaccine? Anybody have a guess? Have you been thinking about this? Has anybody actually done like a lot of reading? I actually have. There are two contenders. Russia says that they have one out right now. I don't know if it's out or if it's like in production. China is either about to go into production, but you say March. I think my estimate is December. I projected last summer, but there are so many countries and so many people investing into this vaccine right now that on some level, I feel like a lot of people will in fact start seeing vaccinations, like decent vaccinations in December. That's my guess. I was all in at next summer though, before there's just so much good news coming out right now with like trials and stuff like that I think I may have been a little bit too conservative on what like logistically they could do to get shots in people's arms. So I think it's going to be slightly sooner than I originally thought, though. I'm late, yo. Oliver, welcome, man. What's going on, dude? I hope you're doing well. You're not late, dude. You're just on time. We're about halfway through the podcast, but that's okay, man. We still got plenty to do today. Plenty today. I had low expectations. Yeah, I did too initially. But I think, a lot of people are really digging in. I mean, listen, the small minority out there that's causing trouble and not wearing masks and making this more difficult and everything else. Luckily, I really think it is a small minority that just want attention. And, I think that there's a better majority out there that are trying to do good things for humans. And that's good. I mean, I hate to have low expectations, but that's where we are. Unfortunately, that's where we are. And I wish we couldn't do that, right? I don't know. I just want everybody to stay alive. Stay safe. Florida just had their elections yesterday, didn't they? I actually have not seen the results of the primary. I've been reading, but I haven't seen anything yet. I don't know. America's a pretty weird place right now. What else do we got going on? We have man, I've been working on the studio here. So yesterday I got in this new, it's about 1.25 inch, like steel pole. It's 39 inches. I wish I could show you. I can't though, because of the way the camera's set up. But anyway, I have this new pole. It's way up here and it has an arm and I got to mount the ball head to it. So this is a ball head. You stick a camera on here or a video camera or whatever. And then this screws in onto the pole, sits up here. So now you can have an aerial view of the entire studio. That's something I've been working on as well. So I have that and then just working on all kinds of things. Trying to make it a little bit better. I get a new green screen coming in, hopefully by next week. That would be amazing. It's going to be a little bit bigger. So that way when my arms are cut off like this, that won't happen anymore. It won't happen. Nope. Instead, you'll be able to see it all. It's going to be so amazing. I can't wait. That's something that I've really been trying to do for this year is improve the studio, try to give you guys a little bit better quality. I don't know. I just have an appreciation for, making things look nice. Like I could have a shitty cam and just a box and just talk. I could do that. But I don't know. Like I just figure if the internet really is forever, if people are going to be watching this in 500 years from now, I just want them to know that I was the type of human being that took a little extra. That's all. Like I don't need anything out of it or anything. I'm sure some of you guys are like that too. Next year, August is my estimate. And I didn't read squat. Yeah, I would. If you understand logistics in any form at all, you got to do all the test phasings. The vaccine has to be approved by FDA and whatever else around the world. And once approved, it can go into production. And then you got to make, billions of doses. Then you got to put those doses into packaging and then onto trucks and then into doctors' offices. And then those doctors need to see all the patients. You see what I'm saying? Like that takes time. Like that doesn't happen overnight. Anyway. So I actually have an associate's degree in logistics. That's true. That is so true. I forgot about that. Yeah, I have one in logistics. As when I was a fuel truck driver, I had to go to school for supply. Very interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Yeah. It's been a work in progress. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys see. If you guys go back and you look at the episode 1 of this podcast, you would be like, "Oh wow, this is way different." I've tried to improve the artwork. I've tried to improve the layout. We've done a lot of different things on this channel. It's pretty cool. I think I really enjoy going into a journey with other streamers as well. As they progress, as they upgrade their audio, as they upgrade their camera, upgrade their layouts, kind of get better at what they do. I'll give you an example of that. One thing that I've been trying to do is trying to remove my crutch words like so, right, you know what I mean, and Like, I'm trying to get better. I used to be really good, and then I got lazy, and I started using lazy language and everything else. Because streaming is just one of those things, I'm kicked back and I'm just having a conversation. But distractor words are distracting. And when I'm always saying things like right, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are distractor words. I've taken public speaking. I am a master instructor. I have all those certifications. I've been through several high-level speaking classes as well. So I should be doing better. And that's something I've noticed over the last few months. I've been a little lazy in my language, and I've allowed all these crutches to come in, and I think it takes away from the content. You guys don't notice it though, but you guys don't notice it. Can I give you a little bit of a story? So I was what they call an instructor supervisor. It would be like the equivalent. We had fancy names and titles in the military, but it would be your equivalent of like your department head, you know? So if you're like a science teacher, you would, and the department head for science teacher would be over all of the science teachers. So my position was I was an instructor supervisor or the department head for the shift. And so it was my job to go in and actually evaluate other teachers teaching. And I would have to count on my hand how many times, like every teacher has a different distractor word or crutch or whatever you want to call it. Most of them are, it's easy. Most of them are ums. Ums are ridiculous. Think about how many times you say in a day, or think about the word you always like finish a sentence with or start a sentence with. So is a very common one. Anyway, I would have to sit there and count. If you said the same word more than 5 times in an hour, you would fail. 5 ums is a failure. 5 so's are a failure. Used in context. If it only counts if it's like a crutch because you can't think of what you can say next. This is why I can flow so well. I've been trained to not use the crutch words, and I'm actively thinking about what my next thought is going to be. I can't explain it, but that's what I did it for 5.5 years, and I was really good at it. I evaluated probably, 100. I've done 100 evaluations where I judged other people and wrote them, excellent, outstanding, whatever it was. And I trained a lot of these people how to speak as well. So these are very handy things. Like if you can ever go, I said this, I think last time we were podcasting. If you can go and join like a local Toastmasters club or something like that, or just practice how to speak in public, practice how to speak in front of groups. See, I just did it. I said, right. That's one. I'm doing lazy language. I'm not like doing an instructor evaluation, but I'm just saying, think about it, because if you have too many crutch words, this could actually help you out. So when I went through basic instructor course, there was like 40 of us, and then they split us all up in 3 classes. In my class, they gave you three of those like, squishy foam balls that you can buy. They don't hurt. You throw them at, whatever. You play with like babies with them or whatever. But they're heavy enough to where you could at least throw them like 10 feet. And so everybody got 3. And every single day for 6 weeks, you had to go up in front of the group and give some kind of, improv or already like one of those speeches that you've already written. I don't know, persuasive, demonstrative, all those types of speeches. Anyway, you'd have to go up in front of the group and you'd have to give one of those. And so eventually you start getting a little bit better at it. And anytime that you use a distractor word, everybody could throw 3 balls at you. So, respect Big Brother, ever had some ayahuasca? No, actually, I have not. That's an interesting one too, ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is, so for those of you that are not in the know, it originates, I believe, from the Amazon. It's given through a shaman. and it's the only way the body can absorb DMT from the plant. It can last up to 12 hours because of the way that the DMT is basically injected. If you smoke DMT, I've heard that it can last between like 10 and 15 minutes, and you go on this epic journey. It's a quick high. It's very, according to like somebody like Duncan Trussell. But if you ingest it, like ayahuasca is, you get a very different effect. But no, I have never done it. Have you? Have you done it? I know it's a pretty big thing. I don't know how to make it or anything like that, but most plants do actually produce DMT. So you can get it out of plants that way, but I don't know how to make it. I don't know the recipe. I could be somebody's guide though. I'm pretty good at being a guide. I don't know if I'd want to do ayahuasca. Like there's like something about like ingesting this liquid so the DMT gets absorbed through the stomach lining and then throw it all up and then go on this like hellbender, like 12-hour, like nauseating journey. Something about that doesn't sound enticing to me. And here's why. I have access to psychedelic mushrooms. I live near farms all around here. The woods where I live is just unbelievable this time of year. As long as you know what you're doing. And I think mushrooms will give you a far greater opportunity to self-reflect and take in your environment. But I've never done ayahuasca, so I can't really make an accurate comparison. And I understand my limitation there. But I have done mushrooms probably in the neighborhood of at least 80 times. Yeah, I would say somewhere around there. So I can speak heavily from the psychedelic point of view. And I've tried LSD once. Once, Johnny, once. Listen, if you guys have never seen Johnny Dangerously, hold on, let me type this up. It's an old movie with Michael Keaton. I'd just like to just bring up the images. How about that? Can we just do that, sir? How about we make these a little bit bigger? So Donnie, I keep wanting to say that. Johnny Dangerously is like this old, like, I don't know, it's from like the 90s, or no, probably from the 80s. It's about this mobster in New York. But he's such, like, he does the mob stuff, but he's like the friendliest mobster you'll ever meet. Loves his mom, takes care of his community, and but there's some really hardcore gangsters that are coming up through the ranks that want to take his mob into a very dark place. And it's so funny. I think it's one of the best movies if you just want to get lost into some classic stuff right here. Oh my God, this is a movie to be seen right there. It's a classic. If you like movies like Spaceballs, Naked Gun, Hot Shots, Johnny Dangerously is right up there with those guys. I'm serious. This is a great movie. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything like that, but check it out. I highly recommend it. You'll get some of my, you will actually get some of my inside jokes when I'm like, once, Johnny, once. This guy right here, that's his thing. Anything that Johnny does to him, his response is, somebody did that to me once, Johnny, once. And so as a kid, we always said that to each other, you know, like, don't touch me. You know who did that once? Once. Yeah, it's a great movie anyway. A little sidetrack. This whole podcast is nothing but sidetracks. This is what it's like to live in my head. The first 8 podcasts, I thought that I wanted to just have tabs of subjects that I wanted to talk about. And then I realized that's not how I work. I mean, you can give me a topic and I will riff off of it. But my brain works by flowing. Flowing and having a casual conversation. Talking about things as they come up. Talking about little blips in my brain. Stories that I've forgotten about for years. They just come alive. That's why people are like, Unjacked, tell me a joke. And I'm like, I can't, man. I literally cannot. Even if I wanted to, I can never force a joke because I don't tell jokes like, why the chicken crossed the road to get to the other side. Oh, like I don't tell those kind of jokes. I tell kind of like funny stories. I don't have a punchline to everything. So, it's just one of those things. I flow. I riff, I flow. Well, that could actually be a good rap song right there. That could be. Hello again. Yo, Jeff, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the podcast. We're wrapping up the podcast in about 30 minutes. It's going to be good, too. This sucker is going to be nice on YouTube. The YouTube channel is actually starting to grow a little bit. Not necessarily on the subscriber side, but as far as like people actually watching the videos, more people are coming back and actually watching the video. Hey, enjoy your food there, Jock. Yeah, so I don't know how long it takes for YouTube to like start listing your videos more and more. Like I don't know how to break through on YouTube. I got to figure that part out. So that's something I'm going to probably start investing a little bit more time in. I don't do any thumbnails, and that's something I realize that I have to change. But I don't know, like, is it going to take me 100 videos? Is it going to be 500 videos? Is it 1,000 videos before anybody sees me? I'm not sure. I grew so fast on Twitch that I never really considered growing on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but that's something I got to work on for the next couple weeks. I just need to find out, like, obviously I need to put content up there that people want to see. That's number one. But two, like, I just got to figure out, is it the descriptions? Is it the title? I mean, obviously it is. But I need to figure out, like, am I doing it right? And if I'm not, like, where do I need to go? So it's kind of an interesting thought. I don't know if I grow, like, I think I'm going to end up growing first on Twitch before the YouTube thing actually takes off. That's what I'm kind of afraid of. All the other, like, the bigger streamers, they keep telling people, like, start on YouTube. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I can give that same advice. I think you do YouTube. I don't know if you start on YouTube. I mean, I grew on Twitch. And they're saying that that's impossible to do. I don't think so. I have no idea. As far as social media goes, I haven't really been in it the last few days. Tomorrow, Jeff. Tomorrow's going to be marbles. I promised today that we do BTD6. So we're going to do BTD6 for the second half of the stream. But tomorrow we're going to do all day marbles. So I hope you're ready to race because, man, I am super excited. And I'm not just saying that. That's not a BS. Like, for real, I'm actually excited to play marbles. I know most people probably think that's weird. But I really enjoy it. So, yeah, we're going to do it all day. We did it all day yesterday, and I actually felt really good about it. I hope you guys did too. I got to meet a lot of new people as well. That's something different about Twitch. Like, I feel like on YouTube, my audience is going to be primarily American. But then I feel like on Twitch, like, I have more of a global audience. I know globally people watch YouTube. I understand that. But I just feel like Twitch gives me immediate access to people from around the world, where YouTube, like, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have not looked at my analytics very well. But anyway, that's what the schedule is going to be. I go back and forth. There's basically 4 things that I stream in a week. I'll do it again, I guess. So usually the schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Right now, I like to play marbles. That's what I'm going to play, 5 hours a session. Tuesdays and Thursdays are split, half the streams. The first half is podcast. Second half is Balloons TD6. And then when I stream on Saturday, which I won't be streaming this Saturday, I'm going to build some picnic tables and a few other things instead. We'll be playing Fall Guys. And that's where I'm going to try to go for the next month. I think I've settled on that. I really like the marbles community. I think it brings a lot to the table, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So it makes sense to me. I guess until everybody grabs their pitchfork and revolts against me and says, oh, hell no, we ain't doing this, then I'm screwed. If I do that, ugh. But hopefully people will enjoy the schedule. Because if we keep doing like race after race, like after 500 races in a row, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep going. Like I'm hoping, but I'm just not going to be a big marble streamer. I'm going to be probably a mid-sized marble streamer. I have to go. I'll try and come back later. I might be able to. Hey, no worries. No worries at all, man. Jeff, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's another thing. Like I'm realizing on Twitch that there's no way I can possibly please everybody. So what I'm going to do as a streamer is try to cater to the majority. Like there's people that want me to play Minecraft. I want to play Minecraft. We'll get there. There's people that will only watch me if I play BTD6. They'll only watch me if I play marbles and so on, right? No big deal. I mean, it just is what it is. I hope that I can reach everybody on a regular basis, but I won't be able to reach everyone at the same time. Like this podcast, listen, the podcast averages probably, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 15 viewers at any given time. Marbles will give me 25-ish on average right now. BTD6 will give me about 15 to 20 on average. So I know that I'm not hitting everybody, but if I can give everybody a little piece here and there, I guess we all win, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. I'm learning so much. For the last 6 months, I never thought that I would be a broadcaster. I never thought I would have an opportunity to do something like this. So it is what it is. Go to the store. We'll be right back. Enjoying having this play in the background. Hey man, thanks. I appreciate that too. And enjoy your trip to the store. Make sure you mask up, dude. Stay safe. I always have to tell people, hey man, make sure you got a mask. You got one? All right, cool. You're good, dude. Do a buddy check. But yeah, I've been learning a lot as a streamer. Like I'm not ready to give other streamers advice, I don't think. But there are things that I'm starting to pick up on now when I go to somebody else's stream. I'm like, oh, he's doing that. You know, that kind of thing. Like, oh, you know, he would be a bigger streamer if. And so I do run into that. And then the other thing that I'm having trouble with internalizing is how, like, I'm not going to tell anybody, but I wish there was a way you could tell somebody that they're never going to be a big streamer. There are certain streams that I go to, not on a regular basis, but I have been to, like I flipped through, that even if they fix their audio, even if they fix their camera, they don't have the personality for it. That's the toughest. And even so, because some streamers don't talk at all to their chat. Some streamers don't do a lot of things, but yet they're huge. So, I mean, there's obviously exceptions to every rule, but these are people that would need years of training in order to get them a little bit more comfortable in front of the mic, in front of the camera. And I don't know how we get there. There's a lot of people on Twitch that won't make it, that really want to make it. Like they'll tell you they're just doing this for fun. I assure you that they're not. You can tell by the way that they carry themselves. You can tell by the way they do things. But I don't have the heart to tell them, like, hey, man, I don't think this is for you. Which is okay, because not everybody's going to. And that's not me. Like, I don't want to be an elitist. But I don't know what to tell some of these people. I feel kind of bad for them. Because I don't think some of them know, like, the level of content that they're putting out there is not good. Not good. I don't know. I don't want to be an elitist either. But I just feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurt down the line because they're doing it and they're wasting their time, like, completely and utterly. Unless they're just doing it for their mental health. Like, that's the only way that that's possible. Like, if you're doing it for mental health and you just feel better like I do, like, go for it. But I've been running into streamers lately that really are, like, pushing for partner, like, pushing for affiliate, and I'm kind of, man, I feel bad for them because I think they're going to be, like, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, I think. I don't know. I wish them all well, but I know that 5.8 million streamers can't succeed. I don't see how that works out. So, we're going to continue that schedule that I had just repeated. So we're going to, we're going to do the marbles, we're going to do the podcast, we're going to do the balloons, and we're on, hopefully on Saturdays. I'm going to try to do like 2 Saturdays a month where I do like 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours of Fall Guys. I'm a little on the fence about putting gaming videos onto the YouTube, so that's something I got to consider as well. I don't know. You just do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. Where are we at? We still got a little bit of time, I think. We got about maybe 10 more minutes. Is there anything in particular that if you're watching right now and you're like, hey, I would like to hear an opinion on such and such, I'll give you a chance here if you want to put it into the old chat and we'll talk. If not, I got a few things that I can always end on. You guys know I can pretty much talk and talk and talk and talk. And my opinion is that you're getting... Hey, thank you, Wiki. I appreciate that. Appreciate all that value. Welcome to the stream as well. Nice to have you. Hey, my opinion is that you are too. Does that... I think that works both ways. Got him. All right. We are going to... Let me see. I'm going to be bringing down the stream in about 10 minutes or so while you guys say, this guy just came straight out of his closet. Oh, yeah, dude. Big time. Dude, I've been gay since I could ever remember. That is one of the biggest things in the 1980s and the 90s before, like, gay culture really came out. That was, like, one of the worst insults you could tell somebody. Like, I could remember being like 8 and yelling across the road, like, yo, you're gay. And they'd be like, no, I'm not. Take it back. Yo, that was some of the best stuff when I was a kid. They would, like, kids just say the stupidest things too. Like, oh my God. Like, I said when I was a kid, I liked He-Man. So my mom bought me the sword and like the shield and like the breastplate of it. And I wore it to school. I was in 6th grade. I'm sorry. I was 6. I was in 1st grade and I wore it to school and I was a walker. So I lived about a half a mile from the like doors. So I'd walk up there and I decided to wear my full He-Man costume. It was not Halloween. I was just going to wear that shit to school. And I will never forget Tommy Manzano started making fun of me. Him and his brother, like, oh, look, because I was so tiny. And they were like, look, it's Flea Man. And they literally walked behind me for an entire half a mile talking trash. Dude, to this day, that was one of the harshest trash talkings I have ever received from bullies. And let me tell you, I got that kind of treatment almost every single day for my entire life. And that's who I am today. So I said all that to say, welcome, Wiki. It's nice to have you. Can you watch something for me and react to it? No, not on stream. This is going on YouTube. I will not take any chance whatsoever for a DMCA. I mean, unless it's something that you created or something like that, maybe. I'm not really a big on reacting, but I don't know. Hit me with it. What do you got? Yeah. So, man, kids were brutal in the 80s and 90s. Oh, my God. That was just those times. We used to use really offensive words. I mean, I grew up in the city, so the kids were a little bit more brutal and all of that. So, I don't know. Nope, not going to do that one, Gary. Absolutely not. I don't need to be grossed out, man. Sorry. I get grossed out fairly easy. Believe it or not, I do get grossed out. Like, I don't like, I'm not that much of a wiener, but I don't force myself. Obviously, I've seen like dead people. I've seen like all kinds of things. I don't enjoy seeing it, but I prefer not to put it in my daily ritual. It's not going to ruin my day or anything like that, but yeah, I'm going to go. Do you guys like horror films? I hate horror films. Like, there There has never been a time in my life. I hate roller coasters as well. There's never been a time in my life that I've ever wanted to be scared. Like I've never wanted to like having that like fear in your chest doesn't feel good to me. I don't like that. I'm not an adrenaline junkie either, and I don't like gambling. So look at that. I just addressed all of my weaknesses. But no, I'm not much of a vice kind of person. I don't have a lot of them. Do you guys struggle with any of that stuff? Like my wife, on the other hand, I mean, she'll laugh through a movie like Final Destination where I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. Like she forced me to watch Train to Busan. I hate zombie movies. Oh my God, do I hate zombie movies. For years, she would watch Walking Dead in the living room, and I would watch TV in the bedroom, and all I'd hear is, ooh, ah. And I'm like, oh, why do I have to hear it? Yeah, Walking Dead, all of those. I don't like them. I love horrors, Final Destination, and Saw. Oh, you're awful, dude. Even the Human Centipede, I'm into it. I'm out of that, dude. I am out of that. I like horror as long as it doesn't have much gore. Yeah, I don't really enjoy gore. It was supposed to be a bad joke. Oh, sorry. Actually, it's great content. I think Gary, if anything, it helped me roll right into the content. Thank you, good sir. Yeah, when I was dating my wife, she'd come over and she would say, "Hey, can you download all the Final Destinations?" Because I was living in Asia at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that movie is, but this girl's pretty cute, and I'd love to watch a movie with her." And that's how she wrote me into Final Destination 1 and 2. And by the time 3 happened, or by the time like we were supposed to watch 3, like I just said no at that point. I'm sorry. I've had my fair share of nightmares. I can't do it anymore. She loves torturing me with horror movies. It's awful. And then my youngest daughter also loves horror movies. It's the worst. It's absolutely the worst. My youngest daughter came downstairs one night. I was just smoking the bong a little bit, and yeah, she's like, "You want to watch this one show on Netflix?" And it was about this haunted house and everything else. I forgot what it was called. Something Hill or something. I don't know. I can't do it. I don't like to think about that stuff. I understand ghosts aren't real. I understand like a lot of things aren't real. But my mind is just too vivid for my own good. What can I say? I can't control it. It just is what it is. You can't win them all. And I'm not winning any of them. Anyway, so please don't invite me to a horror movie. And no, I don't want to watch you play Resident Evil or Silent Hill or any of those games either. I don't like Resident Evil. I don't like Doom. I don't want to see any of that kind of stuff. I am not interested. I don't even like watching like real war movies or anything like that. Like it is just too hard. It's too difficult. Anyway, I think we should probably wrap this up. We don't need to go for 2 hours. It's not necessarily a 2-hour podcast. So I think we did it. We did it. I think 11 is in the books. So I'm going to take the podcast down for about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to adjust, do my thing. I'm going to TP and W. And I'm going to bring it back up, and we're going to play BTD6 for a few hours. If you guys would like to join me, I'd love to have you over there. I think it would be amazing. If you're on YouTube, I would appreciate it if you left me a comment, like the video, subscribe, all that, whatever stuff. And more importantly, I would really like it if you hung out with us on Twitch. That would be pretty cool. I do this from Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually it's around 2:30, but I always round up because it makes me look better. At the end, whatever makes me look better, that's what I put forward. You know how it goes. So if you've tuned in this far, I want to say I appreciate your time. I value it. And I'm glad that you chose to hang out with me instead of somebody else. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and end this and get the next stream ready. I hope that I'll see you guys over there as well. All right. So until then, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in just a little bit. Thank you. Bye, guys.